Hello, this is Doug Brunke of the Global Chamber, and today I'm here with Erika Takeda, who is a student at Keio University. Uh, Takeda-san, we welcome you here to the United States. You are presenting on women in Japan, and you certainly are a woman in Japan. You're a young woman in Japan. It was International Women's Day just a couple days ago. It sounds like, from what I understand, you're right in the heart of many of the developments that young women are making in Asia and in Japan. Could you tell us more about how women are playing a stronger and greater role in Japan and in the world?
Thank you so much for having me. So right now, Japan is going through a huge change in the environment um, for women in society. Um, so up until now, obviously there were many, many remarkable women who would have leadership roles. However, that was not the general trend. There were only a few of those women who are able to stand up and be a huge part of the society. However, that's changing right now with the whole economic policy and the government actually recognizing that as a problem, and that there needs to be a lot more women having stronger roles in the society itself. So even as a student right now, I really notice that happening. Um, Obviously, I don't work or I am not in the workforce or any of that yet. However, when I look through company profiles and recruitments, being a senior at Keio University, that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I do see that companies are very they know that this is the movement that they really need to focus on, and that they are very, very much willing to participate in that, and they're very much encouraging women to become higher roles in the company as well.
You mentioned about the differences and the similarities between the United States and Japan. You know, what have been the most striking similarities
Right.
and differences that you've noticed? Because you're also interning, right?
Yes.
And that's with the America-Japan Society.
Yes, I do.
So you see both sides.
Right.
What are you seeing?
Right. So about women itself, I think that I see that there's a subtle gender separation. I never felt that when I'm actually educated in the U.S. Middle and high school, and I never thought of myself as a girl or a boy as a boy. It was very equal, and that's what we were taught. However, being in Japan, the first thing a student asked me about my university is, what is the gender ratio? So that kind of separation, that kind of knowing of your gender was very surprising to me. So that was a very big difference that I noticed.
It sounds like things are changing in Japan.
Yes,
so
definitely.
what do you see that's changing? What is evolving?
Right. So I think that when I first joined the university, when I first went to Japan, that was kind of the trend, that girls were supposed to be some kind of girlish way, I guess, and that boys were boys. However, now I see that girls are really thinking about their future and what kind of women they want to become and what kind of roles they want to take in the society. So I think that's a very big change that's made in the past 4 years.
Interesting. What do you want to do?
Well, I actually want to become a lawyer. I would want to go to law school in the U.S., hopefully, and then after that, I would want to work at a Japanese company, being a U.S. lawyer, so I would be able to help Japanese companies kind of establish themselves in the U.S.
Oh, I see. So you would prefer at this point, you probably would be targeting working in the U.S. for
Yes.
a Japanese company?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of working in Japan, how have you found that to be as a woman?
Right. In Japan, I think that it's just very, very different. But yes, however, I do see that as a woman to work in Japan would mean that you would actually have the chance to become, the opportunity to become a higher position, for example, a board of director Right now, the percentage is very, very low in Japan as opposed to the U.S. or any other country in the world, as a matter of fact. However, right now, companies are very, very kind of promoting that we would want more board of directors as to become women and become the leading people of the company.
Very good. So one of actually the visitors we have over the next couple meetings that we're having today is Kyoko Toyama, who ascended at NKK Switches here in the United States from being pretty much an office lady or an administrative person, probably would be a better way to say it, to become the president. So in the United States, he transcended to that elevation. Do you see those kinds of things happening in Japan today, where women have maybe not quite as much as opportunity as men yet, but they're getting more opportunity?
Right. Yes, definitely. You're exactly right. Before, I think that secretary positions were usually for women. When you look through job openings for women, and it would be secretary positions or office ladies or something to do with just documentation or very low level, not low level, but in the company, in the bottom part. However, companies are very more encouraging about pulling up the women at the higher level of the company, and I really do see that just through looking at company profiles, company websites.
Well, I know when I lived and worked in Japan, our office lady, Fukumachi-san, basically ran the entire office.
Right.
And so it's encouraging to hear that people of talent will be able in the future to increasingly be able to also probably get paid and recognized for their contributions. And that can only help between Japan and U.S. businesses in terms of continuing to grow the opportunity. Do you see it that way?
Yes, definitely. I think that there will be more and more women who are the top of the companies and are very celebrated for their talents.
Well, undoubtedly, Takeda-san, you will be one of those people at the top. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.